Hello and welcome to Kramer's Corner with Daily Technical Update. It is Monday, 29th of September. It's a little bit late, I know, but I had a very early morning meeting. But now I'm back here and ready to do this video. That is for educational purpose only. There's no recommendation or advice whatsoever intended. So let's get cracking. The US market bounced a little bit Friday. And pre-market seems to bounce even more. We are still in a bullish trend here. We have Nasdaq 100, as you can see, still in bullish trend. Yes, it broke this steep rising trend line. Let's remove it now because we're still above 24,000, which is key. If it closes below, well, then we are in for a possible correction. Or larger correction. Here you can see that pre-market we are up about 0.66%. And it could push higher towards 25,000, especially if we take out the peak there. We didn't even set back to the support here, just around 24,000. So that looks fairly strong still here towards the end of the month. There can still be some turmoil since we are approaching the last days of the months and the quarter, but apparently it seems like, well, there's only 1 or 2 days left, so 2 days left, so it probably not. On the S&P 500, 6,550 is the key support, but also here pre-market we are about 0.5%, so it seems like we are pushing higher, and Dow Jones also pushing higher. Possibly pushing back above this falling trend line here. Rising trend line. The falling trend line on the RSI is still in play. We still have divergence on the RSI on S&P 500 and Dow Jones, as you can see here. So still a bit exhaustion, but trust the trend. That is key. It's just a warning sign. We don't have a top reversal pattern in place. Whereas on Nasdaq there is no divergence, and they are running Nasdaq is running the show at the moment. So since it's some of the big techs that is really moving, especially Tesla was up almost 4% Friday. In Asia on Seng, also a strong bounce here this morning, almost 2% up, 1.9% higher, and I think we could see it pushing higher. I think it will push higher in the coming days, as long as we stay above 25,918. Excuse me. Then we are in a bullish trend. We can actually adjust this and say, 26,000 will be the key support that needs to be observed in case it's being challenged. Nikkei sideways. Taking a breather here, actually formed a bit of a top and reversal like pattern. We are a bit stretched, as we can see here. The RSI has been declining, where the market has moved higher. Could we push higher if it takes out the peak there, all-time highs? Then we are likely to push above 46,000. In Europe, EuroStoxx50 is has been and is pushing higher. Very strong Friday, new push higher here, and as we can see now, it's above. Today we are above these peaks here, so it seems like we are going to push higher. RSI back above 60 threshold, indicating likely higher levels. So I think we will see it pushing towards 5,600 in the coming days and weeks, and possibly higher towards the end. But we are not at all-time highs just yet. But we are looking at it, and it has its eyes set on it. We are not that far from it. Here on the EuroStoxx CFD/future, also flirting with this peak here, and seems to be pushing higher. And I think we could see it towards 5,600, which is 138.2 projection just around it. DAX, on the other hand, is struggling a bit. Yes, it is bullish, or not bullish. It is higher today, about 0.25%. It was also higher Friday, but we're still below the cloud. We are still below all moving averages. So it is really lacking. Key, well, can it get back above the cloud? Can it get back above 24,064? And can RSI can it get back above 60 first? So that would be key here. Maybe the other markets can drag it higher, but it is really under pressure at the moment still. And here we have the CFD As you can see, it's hovering around the 38.2 retracement of this downtrend there, and testing the cloud. It really needs to get back above the 24,095 to really establish a fairly reliable bullish trend, and we are not really there yet. On the FX market, and your dollar bounced from the 786 retracement at 116.48. Still in a positive sentiment, no divergence, indicating we could see a high level if it takes out 118.20. Bullish trend is likely to resume with a push towards 120. So let's see about that, if it can hold on above this, and it's still above the cloud. Key support here at 115.80. That is really the key level. Excuse me. Cable or sterling dollar has bounced from these lows here, more or less spot on, as we can see here. Just dipped a little bit below and then has bounced. And if it can hold on and move back above 135.40, uptrend is likely to resume. But if it takes out these lows here from last week at 133.30, then we are likely to see sterling dollar down here to around 132 area. Euro sterling, a lot of volatility today. It is in a bullish trend, but this volatility, I mean, really a fight between bears and bulls, and that is, or between the ones that think that sterling should be weakened, that euro should be weakened, or whatever. But it's still a bit of a struggle here to push higher. We are in a positive sentiment. There is no divergence, or slightly, a little bit maybe. It needs to take out the peak here at 87.70, and preferably with a close above to push higher towards 88 and higher. Dollar yen got beaten down again after hitting just below 150 level, and then we are back to the 200 moving. It's really dragging on it here, so we could see a further setback. So what I will do, just to there we are. It should be adjusted a little bit. There we are. So I think it will hit at least the 38.2 retracement, 148.25. If it starts pushing lower, well, then we could see it down to the 61.8 retracement, 147.20, and the lower rising trend line there. But the bullish trend will probably still remain intact. If it can get back above 149, well, then we could see a push to 151. But it's really dragging on this 200, because when I say dragging on it, it's because the medium to longer term trend is bearish, where the shorter to medium term indicators here, the 55 coming up and the 100 coming up, they're flattening a little at the moment. It's more negative or more bearish. Euro yen didn't get all the way up to 138.2 projection at 175.54 before we got a sell off this early morning here, testing this minor support here, just 173.90. I think we could see a setback to 173, possibly lower, and that's really strong. I mean, it's actually a bearish engulfing in the making. It's not confirmed, but it's taking out Friday, Thursday, Wednesday, maybe also Tuesdays, positive or bullish moves. So let's see about these candles here. There's been a divergence on the RSI for quite some time, indicating to uptrend exhaustion. So maybe we'll see a setback. So that's a little bit. I need to adjust it there. If it takes out the peak from today, well, then I expect to push higher towards 176.5. Aussie yen, still this tight range here between 98.45 and 97.20. Breakout to the upside, well, then we're looking at 99.40, possibly 100. To the downside, well, then we're looking around 96. Sterling yen, also range bound, 198.90 is with the 55 moving average coming up, giving some support. We are in a bullish trend. it is just really not that strong. We are in a bullish trend, so it should be able to push higher. But if it takes out 198.90, well, then could be looking 197.85, stronger support down here. Aussie dollar bouncing from the 61.8 retracement, and this is what you can do when you see that, well, okay, then we don't need this, and then we can start looking for other levels, and this is how you work with it. It's just to give guidance. So you now have the 38.2. I think we will move it to that, but I actually think we will resume uptrend, because look at this, we have positive sentiment on the RSI, no divergence. If RSI close back above 60 threshold, I think we will see Aussie dollar pushing higher and possibly also taking out the peak here just above 67. A bit of resistance here at 66.30. Dollar Canada reached the 138.2 projection, then setting back. There's still potential up to 140 and the 161.8 projection and the 200 moving average. I wouldn't be surprised to see it, but given that the dollar Canada also been quite volatile, maybe a little bit of a setback, and then next move higher. Sterling Canada, the very volatile currency pair that has once again Friday tested the 55 and the 100 moving average, but they're both rising, so underlying sentiment and trend, it is up, and I think we will see it pushing higher and possibly also taking out the previous peak there at 188.43 with a push higher above 189. There's slightly divergence on the RSI. You can see the RSI values declining, might move this slightly higher. But if RSI gets back above 6 threshold, it's likely to push higher also. The EuroSwiss, again, a lot of dancing on the spot, but really not much moving. You can see, yeah, it did dip down to these levels there, but still holding on above 93. So that seems to be the key. We can also see RSI holding on above 40 threshold, so still slightly bullish or positive undertone. Dollar Swiss rejected here at the 55 moving average, rejected at the upper falling trend line, and here around the 50% of this downtrend there also. If it takes out 79 to downside, then I think we'll see lower levels below, or at least down to 78, possibly lower. If it can take out the peak up there from a few days ago at 80.15, then we're looking at 80.40, possibly up to around 81. The dollar index bounced to the 100 moving average and the upper part of the cloud. Didn't get all the way up to the 61.8 retracement, which is a little bit odd, but it didn't. So let's see, will it slide back? But it's again below the cloud. So, and negative sentiment still on the RSI. Could see it sliding lower, so a little bit in a limbo there, I would say. But if it slides back below 97.45, then I think a downtrend is likely to resume, and it is most likely to really be confirmed if it takes out 96.84. On the commodities and metals market, well, gold cancelled this morning the top and reversal pattern here, both on the spot price and the and also on the future, pushing higher. And let's have a look what's really also going on then and what could be happening. Let's zoom in on the weekly chart here. So it is taking out the 100% of extension of this triangle-like pattern here. You can see it's added to the breakout price, 100% of that. So what we can do, we can actually look at the projection instead, and it is pushing towards 38.80, possibly even higher. Really strong move at the moment. There is divergence on the RSI, but this is a really strong testament to the market being very bullish on gold. What is also bullish on is silver, really pushing higher here, and it is closing in. And I think we need the monthly chart to witness what's going on. We are getting closer to the almost the 49.84 level back from 2011. We're getting close to. I wouldn't be surprised to see it at the moment. And remember, there's only 2 days left of this month. So at the moment, this divergence here is being cancelled. If it closes above the horizontal line there on the monthly, well, then it's being cancelled, and there's much higher levels in store for silver. Same on the weekly chart. So really strong move and intent on silver. Also on platinum, reached the 161.8 projection of this correction here. Spiked above it a little bit, setting back a little bit, but strong bullish move, and we are likely to see also platinum pushing higher, as we can also see here on the weekly. Really strong move indeed, but be careful if you are entering. Be tight with the stops because it's quite volatile also. Copper setting back after being rejected there late or last week at 495. Didn't get all the way up there, but very close to setting back, and it has touched the 38.2 retracement just above the 200 moving average. If it takes out and closes above 495, well, then we are looking at higher levels towards 533, 34. Especially if it can close above the cloud, but positive sentiment on the RSI indicating higher levels. On the energy markets, we had WTI crude oil spiking above Friday. The minor resistance there is 66. So still struggling. RSI rejected at 60 threshold, indicating we're still slightly negative sentiment, but in the bigger picture, it's actually just a sideways move. The Brent Crude actually closed above, so actually established that bullish trend, higher high, higher low, and higher high. Can it follow through? Because the RSI didn't close above 60 threshold, so that'll be key here the next few days possibly. 200 moving hours also rejected, so it could slide back into this range here. There's really not a significant break. It's not confirmed at least. The European nat gas closed Friday above the falling trend line, but key resistance there at 33.44. If it can close above that and RSI can close above 60 threshold, well, then there's potential up to 36.30 area. US nat gas that closed above 319 resistance, setting back a little bit, but I think we will see it pushing higher. Positive sentiment on the RSI. Indicating likely higher levels on US nat gas. Moving on to yields, and the US Treasury yields projected just below 420, very close to 419.5. So seems to form a top and reversal like pattern here, setting back. And I think if we see it, let's just do this. If it takes out 409. Percent there, then a downtrend is back in business, and the lows here just around 4% could come under pressure. However, 420 a key level, but you can see all moving averages they are declining. So maybe that was just that bounce, but give it a few days, then we are a little bit wiser, I think. Also, European yields setting back lower, testing minor support there at 271. We are still in a bullish trend, but it's not that strong since our side couldn't close above 60 threshold there. So and got rejected also at the falling trend line. So but if it takes out to 63, then bearish trend has been established. The UK also setting back after spiking just above 475. So still in a bullish trend, but it's not that convincing at the moment. But let's see. The Japanese set back a little bit too, but as you can see, bigger picture, we are still in a bullish trend. Finally, on Bitcoin and cryptocurrencies, as usual, we had a bounce here over the weekend. In Bitcoin, didn't get all the way down to 107,250, which is a little bit sign of a strength. So we could bounce further the next few days. And if it can get back above 55 moving average, there's a potential to 118,000, possibly higher, but let's see. But 107 and 250 key support. Ethereum, well, it's actually technically in a bearish trend and negative sentiment, indicating likely lower levels if it takes out the lows here from last week at 3,825. Well, then there is still potential down to around 3,400. But let's see if it can crawl back above. And let's just remove this one. If it can crawl back above at the oops, hang on. Let me just add this one to it. It can give a little bit of indication what it can do. And let's just add this one to it. And let's just add there it was to it. So if it can get back above 4,400, then I think we could see uptrends being established. All right, that's all for today. Have a nice day and talk to you again tomorrow.